Hello everyone, I'm Robert Hisee. Most of you will know me, but for you that don't, I'm the UK's #1 unconscious mind therapist. And welcome to the Mindclap Podcast. Hello everyone, welcome to the Mindclap Podcast. And today we're with the legend, Mr. Wayne Lineker, club owner, bar owner, entrepreneur, pure businessman. So thank you, Wayne, for joining us today at the Mindclap Podcast, my friend.
Thanks for inviting me.
Good to see you as usual.
Yeah, always good to talk to you, mate. You know that.
So, as I've explained before, that the Mindclap Podcast is about modelling the mind of success, of the elite, and obviously you fall into that category. So, I'd love to ask you about the young Wayne, where you started from, where you come from. Give people an idea that you was working class, wasn't you? You was on the markets.
Yeah, I mean, we had a family business which was fruit and veg on the markets back in Leicester, which was the actually biggest permanent marketplace in Europe, and we had quite a few stalls. We were quite big in that particular game at the time. And I mean, regarding school, I left school at 14, a few days before my 15th birthday actually.
Just didn't finish no exams.
Yeah, I mean, from the age of 10 years old, I was working weekends on the markets. So I pretty much knew my trade by the time I left school at 14. I didn't take any exams, obviously, so I've got no qualifications whatsoever. So I had to make it in the market, otherwise I'd have been. And
how did you find school? Was it is it a drive man for you? Was it just not?
Yeah,
it just wasn't for you.
Just wasn't really for me. It's the same with my football career. I had a chance to make it at football, but I just didn't have the dedication or commitment to go training and stuff like that. I just wanted to be out with my mates. Outside the church, hanging around the street corners and
kissing girls, that sort of thing.
Well, nothing changed. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't for me, school. I mean, things have changed now. I mean, I've got my boy Freddie. He's doing really well at school, So as did all my children. But I fell off the rails a bit at school, but I'm good at falling off the rails, so it's no problem. I started young. Then I went to the markets with my dad during school, and then
because you had your own little firm, man. Like you had your own by the age of 14, 15, like workers for you, didn't you?
I was actually had my own business by the time I was 15 on the markets. Yeah, by the time I was 16, I had 40 people working for me.
It's crazy.
Which is pretty mad at 16 years old. Yeah, we were busy out. Busy company.
I see a video clip once you posted, and it had like the big Lineker's light lit up above the market and all that.
I mean, a day's work for me was, I worked 6 days a week, 16 hours a day. A busy day for me was, 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. So I didn't have time to socialise really back in the day, and I just purely focused on work, and I had to be up at 4 in the morning, sometimes 3, to go to the markets, unload the vans, because although it's permanent, you had to pack away every day and set up every day. So and then the wholesale market opened at 6, a big queue outside to get the first deals, and it was definitely the best education you could have for business, to be able to deal with the public. That's where I learned how to deal with the public. People skills, that's probably one thing I might claim to be good at. But
and how did the visualization of the bars come about? Because I know you went from the market stalls, and then next thing you was a bar owner in Tenerife. I mean, how did you create that? How did the change come about?
Well, the story behind that was really that it was back in 1986, and at that time there was nobody used to sell fruit and veg. Only you used to go to your city centre to buy your fruit and veg. The supermarkets didn't sell it because they didn't exist. But they started opening up, your Tesco's, your Safeways, and Sainsbury's, one-stop shop. And they started selling fruit and veg. Literally killed us, You just seen a massive decline in trade and take-ins and profits, and it got really bad. I thought, I can't hang around here. There's no future in this for me.
Because I remember being a kid, right? And I remember you only got, like in the 80s, I remember you only got strawberries in strawberry season. Now we get every fruit all year round, don't we? You know, but it was only in strawberry season. We must have strawberries are in. I remember that. It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, that brings back a
we're
story.
We're spoiled with it now, aren't we?
That brings back a story, actually. So my dad, bless him, when he was alive, we used to obviously work and buy stuff together and the fruit. And Thursdays used to be half day closing on the market, so everyone packed away at 2 o'clock. You're gone. Yeah. And at 12 o'clock, me and my dad were down the wholesale market just having some lunch, and there's a massive delivery of strawberries coming from Holland, and they were amazing. And it was so hot back in the day, back on that day, and he said, "You know what? Let's load the van up, open up the market this afternoon." I went, "Really?" He went, "Yeah, let's do it." There was like 160 on the trays on this pallet, you know, brilliant. Like 12 punnets in each, and yeah, and just me and my dad just rolled the white sheet out, tipped all the strawberries on. We just stood there. We had queues everywhere, mate, because nowhere was open. And you were allowed to do it, but it's just tradition that everyone shut down. So I think we had 400 quid that day in about 3 hours, which is a lot of money back then. Yeah, you know, that's like about 4 grand now. And so I just remember that story. It was a really good one. But my dad said, "Come on, we can do it." I said, "Yeah, come on, let's do it." And we had a laugh and sold out.
You learned a lot from your dad of the moving forward, the vision, how to make things.
I mean, I didn't realise it at the time, how much I was learning from him, you know. But he was a great businessman in the end, and it didn't really click with me how much I learned off him, you know.
I suppose it was just your day life with your dad. It's just what you've done. Yeah, that's amazing.
We used to.
How did the visionary come about for like Lineker's bar and stuff? How did that work? Because I know like.
Like I say, the market's on a decline, so I thought I need to do something else. So, and at that time, my brother Gary was you know, super famous.
Wayne Lineker.
He was captain of England. He just won the Golden Boot in Mexico, and you know, and I thought, do you know what? I've got an idea. It's because my Dwayne and Sean's mum at the time, who I was with then, her parents lived in Tenerife, and we used to visit them all the time. And I used to think, I'd love to live here. I'd love to live in Tenerife. And then I thought, you know, I've got a really good second name, you know. Lineker, it's a pretty good name, you know. But it's my name as well, so why don't I use that? So lo and behold, I had this idea to open a bar and call it Lineker's.
And base it around. Like, you've told me this story before, and I've got to get this on camera. You remember when the idea hit you? You was at your dad's store, went to get some.
Yeah, it was actually 2 weeks before I actually left, because it was. My dad was upset that I left, you know, I was leaving the business, and you know, and my brother's manager at the time was like, "You're making the biggest mistake of your life, what are you doing, why are you thinking like this?" His name's Jonathan Holmes. Got it wrong, mate. So I was a bit tentative about going, I was a bit nervous. I'd sold everything I'd got. I think I ended up with about 34,000 quid I had, and nothing else in the world, just my family, and that was it. And I remember just 2 weeks before, because I was still pretty nervous about going, and I just set the stall up, and then you go to this cafe called Rosso's, I think it's called, and I get me sausage and tomato carb with brown sauce on it every day. Carb, that's a roll, by the way, in Leicester. And then I was halfway to the breakfast place, and I just, something stopped me in my tracks, like knocked me back, like I thought, wow, what's this? And then I saw, as mad as this seems, it's a true story. I saw this bar with 3 round windows. Oh God, that's weird. And I saw inside the bar, I saw all these pictures on the wall, and I saw behind the bar, I saw all the bottles behind the bar.
Clear as day.
Clear as daylight.
They just come out of the blue.
Weirdest thing ever. Yeah. I'm like, well, that's weird. And even the colour of the bar, the black walls, and the colourful pictures on the walls, and the tables in the bar. And I just remember these 3 round windows, they stuck with me. I was like, okay. And then that was it. Then 2 weeks later, pack my bags, off I go. And that's it, the biggest day of my life, I guess. And I went to Tenerife, And I'd been there about 6 or 8 weeks, and I couldn't find anywhere because I was looking around the Playa de las Americas area, and which is the busy part to be. And I was getting really upset. You know, I was thinking I have made the biggest mistake of my life. I'm gonna think about going back.
You just couldn't find a bar everywhere.
Yeah, and I spoke to my dad on the phone. He's gone, "Look, stick it out, son. You're doing it now." You know, he said, "Something's gonna happen." I said, "Okay." So 2 weeks later, phone goes. I'm like in a bad place now. I'm like, oh, "Fucking hell," because I literally gave up everything I'd worked for all my life. And he's gone, "Look, my phone's gone." He's gone, "All right, Wayne, it's Bill. I'm a estate agent out here." I said, "Okay, mate." He said, I hear you're looking for a premises." I said, "Yeah." So I've got a nice place in the Patch for you, which was a good area. There's 2 areas, 2 Veronica's in the Patch. And he's gone, "Yeah, just," I said, "Okay, I'll come and meet you." He said, "I'll meet you." So I got there, and he was stood by his car. He had a seat at Visa, so did I. I remember putting them in together. And then he's gone, "Here it is." I'm like, 3 round windows in this premises, yeah. I'm like, wow. He said, "You all right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, I went, "I'll have it." He went, "You ain't seen it yet?" I said, "I don't need to." I said, I'm having that." I said, "I've seen that before." And he's gone, "Okay, well, do you want to see inside?" I said, "Of course I do." But he's gone, I walked inside, and it was exactly as I saw. You know,
exactly.
Without the refurb, obviously. Yeah. It was an old bar called the Captain's Cabin, which is, of course, a boat and the 3 round windows with the portholes.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, makes sense.
And I was blown away. Like literally, I saw this place in my vision.
How did that feel?
And I could take you to the same tile I was standing on when I had the vision in the market. Yeah.
That's brilliant.
And I took it. I signed up that day. Within a month I was open. It was absolutely rammed every single night from day one.
Brilliant.
And then it just got too busy, and we had to move premises.
Wow.
It was just too. Yeah, couldn't keep up. It wasn't a big venue. It was a small venue.
What was the one with the when I remember you telling me about England to play there? No one in them days. No one could get England radio, England football. No one could.
Yeah, because obviously at that time, I mean, Lineker's has always been a sports-based bar anyway, but a fun pub as well, where people can do what they like, and which I'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, you had to do certain tricks because there was no Sky Sports, none of that luxury back in the day. You know, if it weren't on Spanish telly, you were fucked. You know. So, and there wasn't even radio proper channel radio and stuff like that, and they didn't do live games. So I had an idea. What I did, I connected my telephone in the bar through to the speakers. And I phoned my mate.
Sellotape the mic to it, didn't you?
So sellotape the mic to the speakers. and I phoned my mate up, Terry Bateman, who lived in Waltham Abbey in Essex, a really good mate of mine. And I said, "Mate," I said, "I've got an idea." I said, "I'll pay you Bill, obviously." But I was calling them, but it was much cheaper for him to call me because I was on a payphone. Yeah. So he used to call me 5 minutes before the kick-off, and I used to advertise live Liverpool, Everton live radio commentary, and everyone's like, "What the fuck?" Really? So everyone used to pile. It was ridiculous. Like we used to have to hide what I was doing because no one could work it out.
You don't learn that at school, folks.
Yeah. So and we used to broadcast the whole match live, and then it just nightly games all the time and Saturday afternoons, and you just couldn't get near the place, you know. So we had to move and.
Well, that's how it got. So that's when your memory's got to say when you said he started shouting down the phone, didn't there? Something in England scored or something like that. The whole pub was like, "What's going on?"
Some mad stories, but yeah, it was crazy because all the other bar owners were like devastated, you know, because how does he doing it? How's he doing it? Yeah. But by the time they twigged on, it was too late. I cornered the market, so yeah. And
then what was the other rule? You said no one. If you didn't, you said about most bar people weren't allowed to dance, and the bouncers were a bit heavy out there, weren't they?
The difference with Lineker's and the competition at that time was it was a time when the security were very aggressive. you know, a very aggressive attitude. You know, I used to get people in your bar. I used to see people going to spend the night in someone's bar, getting pissed, falling over, and then getting slung out like they're idiots. You know what I mean? And they can't do this and they can't do that. And I thought, why can't they do it? Why don't we let them do it? You know. So let's let them dance on the tables. Let's let them dance on the chairs, because it was brand new then. No one ever did it. And everyone was like loving it. They were jumping on the tables, on the chair. I mean, it cost us a few quid in refurb, but it was worth it.
You said to me before. You said if they're not dancing, the rules were if they're not dancing on if they're not dancing on the chairs, they're not sitting on them.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't sit on them. You got to stand on them. So we had to have this special vinyl that stiletto heels couldn't go through, and all sorts. But yeah, I mean that was a turning point for us, because, you know, you invite people into your business, take all their money off them, then throw them out. Don't get it. So if I let them do what they want, you know, we're serving alcohol. That's what we do. So it's going to change people's minds, and
you still get all the staff jumping on your bar now.
We've carried it on all the way through. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot more laid back in most venues now, but at that time it was a new thing, so that worked really well for us. So it got us, we cornered the market on the sports side of things, and we cornered the market on the nighttime fun time type of thing. So yeah, it worked really well, and the music policy was really good. It's all about having a good time. So yeah, that's the story there.
That's brilliant.
And then we just carried on opening Linekers. I think I had 14 at one point.
Yeah, it's mad. You had a replica on one in Thailand, and then someone ripped you off. What's that?
Yeah, Pat Pog or something. In Pat Pog area, yeah. So I got a phone call, so someone sent me some pictures, and the place was a mess, man. It was above a brothel. It was above a brothel in Thailand. I'm like, no, what the fuck? And so yeah, I mean, I think people realised it wasn't actually.
It wasn't yours.
Thailand's well known for rip-offs, isn't it? But
so you had a great career of Linekers. And how did the vision come about from moving from keeping Linekers obviously, but then going into O Beach with Tony Truman?
Yeah, Tony.
What was the story with there? Because you two were both in the same industry, but never knew each other for years, did you?
Yeah, I mean, by this time I was actually living in Marbella. We opened Linekers Marbella in 2002, which again was a really big success. I kept hearing this guy's name come up, Tony Truman. I'm like, who is this guy? You know what I mean? I thought, this is my patch. He can't come on my patch. But he wasn't. Tony was about was events and parties.
Yeah.
He used to throw the best parties, and I remember one where.
Trudeau's, wasn't it?
Trudeau's, yeah. We went to a mansion in the outskirts of Marbella, and I was so impressed with what he'd laid on. You know, I thought, yeah. But by that time, I had met him, and anyway, we become really good friends. And in 2008, he said to me, "Look, it's time Linekers came to Ibiza." I said, yeah, okay. So me and Tony done a deal, and we opened up Linekers Ibiza, 2008.
Right.
And that went really well. I mean, at that time there wasn't no daytime venues, so it used to be everyone used to meet in the bars, so they used to be packed. But now, obviously, times have changed, and everyone now gets wasted in the daytimes and then goes home for a little kip and then goes out to the clubs. So the bars sort of have lost a lot of the stigma and the revenue that they used to have. I mean, they're still profitable, but you know, it's not like back in the day. But yeah, so me and Tony opened Linekers in Tenerife 2008, and I think it was, and then we were in Marbella one summer. We sat in the swimming pool in Marbella and we started chatting. And he's gone, you know, we need to open a beach club in Ibiza. I said, yeah, we definitely do. And we had a chat about it, probably 10-minute chat, talking about what we could do and stuff like that. Because Tony's a very creative guy, you know.
Yeah.
And then I was in Ibiza because I more or less spent a lot of my time in Ibiza because I used to love it so much. And I started moving out of Marbella to Ibiza. Anyway, I got a phone call from Tony. He's gone, Wayne, I think I've found us a place. And I went, all right, I'll meet you there in 10 minutes, and walked up, and there she was. There was a restaurant. It was I mean, Ocean is huge, obviously, but this part of the first part of the equation really was it was a restaurant that used to do weddings and stuff like that from a family that were about to go in retirement, so we said, look, we've got to do it. You know, beachfront location, you know, everything was right. It just wasn't big enough. So I said to Tony, I said, this ain't big enough, mate. And it was quite big. I mean, it's
what vision did you have in your head then, Wayne? What was you seeing there?
Well, when we sat in the swimming pool, we saw something else, you know.
Yeah.
But
you couldn't see
it was big enough, but it wasn't going to be. It was never going to be what it is today because it wasn't big enough. But so I said, "This ain't big enough, mate." He said, "I know." I said, "Who owns the restaurant next door?" He went, "I don't know. I'll find out." Because there's a restaurant next door. I can't remember what it's called, Tacapella or something like that. I can't remember. And anyway, he did his homework, and it turned out, he said, "Wayne, the same family own it, and they want to do a deal." I went, "Really?"
Touch.
Yeah, and my son Dwayne was involved at the time, and and we all decided that we'll go for it. We'll take them both, but the other one was really big.
So what did that expand your vision then? Did it all sort of match what you were seeing, and did you think it actually could be done?
Yeah, I mean, at this stage we were with designers and stuff like that, and because we had ideas of bringing more Vegas style venue to, you know, because no one had really done that, you know, and as I say, Tony's really creative and with events, and he's got some great ideas, and we were just chatting, you know, and then once we cleared both properties out, it was huge. It was like, you know, like a football field. You know, what we could do with all this, and but then we started drawing and doing the designs, and Tony did, and Dwayne, and it was, and then.
So you've got a good team of visionaries around you as well, because Tony's like a boy. Dwayne sounds like he's very hands-on.
Yeah, Dwayne's my son and my partner, and in a lot of my businesses, and he holds everything together. You know, he's behind the scenes. He does all the back of house stuff is Dwayne's work, so he gets all the stress.
Yeah.
Tony does all the events, arranges all them, and I just take all the credit.
Take a few pictures and look for it. That's it, Wayne. That's it.
But I guess I laid the foundation, so I'm not guilty about that.
Yeah. So what's next for Wayne Lineker? What have you got planned? Because the word on the street is you're thinking about Dubai.
Well, Dubai was supposed to open 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. And because of the
COVID, we couldn't get at the time people on the site to build, because the site's there. Okay. The site's ours.
Whereabouts is it out there?
I can't tell you that. We're waiting to surprise everyone with that.
Lovely.
But the venue is the site is amazing.
Beautiful, yeah.
The backdrop's incredible. It will. I mean, I've got all the design images in. You know, everything's done. We're waiting to just get the builders in, but.
So when do you reckon next then?
But yeah, we're just trying to work out the best time, because I mean they've been very good. The landlords have, you know, they've given us some more time and stuff like that. But it's ours. But because to open that right at this point wouldn't be a good idea, you know, with the world as it is, and they understand that. And so we're now looking at the September 2021 to open.
How have you mentally been handling this? Because I know you're a visionary and Tony's a visionary. You love it. You guys are always for the next move. Feeling at the moment where the world stops and not being able to move up, it's driving you up insane a little bit. Just that you can't.
Heartbreaking, mate. Yeah. You know, we were set, ready to go, ready to open here, there, and everywhere, which we still are. But we have to wait a little time for the world to get back to how it was, or close to how it was.
What advice would you give anyone out there in business now who's going through this hardship? You know, a lot of people are losing their businesses, and they're going to have to go again. Really, what advice would you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really tough time because it's money. You know, if you've not got the money to do it, then you know this is why so many businesses are going to fold, because they haven't got the backing
to keep just to sustain it.
Fortunate, you know, our businesses are financially strong, so we can survive this wave. You know, but you know, 1 or 2 more waves or 2 more years, then you know we're in trouble as well.
Yeah.
So it is a very difficult You know, I see people opening new businesses, and I just feel pain for them. You know.
What is your when you look at a business? Is there some sort of have you got like a model way you work it when you see something, or is there any pattern that you could advise anyone to look for in business when they open a new company? Is there any advice?
Just feeling, really. Just
feeling.
feeling. Yeah, I mean, whenever I've done a deal on a Linekers or whatever, location first.
Yeah.
Don't go with second-rate locations. They don't work. You've got no chance. No, you have to have first-rate location.
Okay.
You have to be.
Just don't cut the corners on that.
Close to taxi ranks, this, that, and the other. You know, all the obvious things. But location is so important, man. It's so important. You know, if you're trying to save a few quid by moving it to the bar around the corner, it's a bit bigger and it's a little bit cheaper. Forget it. Waste of time. You've got no chance unless you've got something extraordinary to offer the people.
Yeah. And
then see the premises. Every single premises I walked in, I knew within 5 seconds. You know, I didn't even need 5 seconds. You
feel
know.
it, as you said. You just stood outside, and
you know, I've walked into venues that estate agents gone, "That's not for me, mate." He said, "You haven't seen it." I said, "I don't need to."
It's just not.
So I'm wasting your time. You're wasting mine.
So what does it feel like when you see the gaff? When you see something that you know?
Well, you get a buzz. You get a buzz. Yeah, immediate buzz. Yeah. And then you start seeing that's going there,
visions
that's going there, that's going
the visions
there.
pop in.
Yeah, then the visions come, and I mean all the venues. I mean, my son's particularly good at it as well. You know, he's you know, we know what goes where and how it works and how it doesn't work, and you know that comes with experience. But yeah, if it's a bar, for example, you know, the DJ has to be in the right spot, the bar has to be in the right spot, it has to be wide enough to be long enough. You know, and then there's the sound issues, you know, because a lot of venues, if you've got apartment blocks near a bar, forget it. Just forget it. It's just going to cause you aggro. You know, so many times we've.
So you have to soundproof them.
Yeah, but even if you soundproof, you've still got people outside the venue on the terrace, and if there's a couple that have been there for 30 years, they're just going to denounce you because all the noise outside. So you need to be away from apartments, you need to be away from living accommodation as much as you possibly can, because that's where your aggro is going to come. Because you get denounced by a family saying, look, we're against this place, you know, there's too much noise. So then that's called a denuncia. Once you get 3 denuncia, you're up for closure then. So it's a lifelong battle. So do not open a bar next door to the apartment block.
So before we end it, Wayne, have you got give us a mad story? You know, you've obviously got a catalogue, I'll put you right on the spot now, but have you got any mad stories, funny stories you could tell us from Ibiza back in the day or anywhere?
Yeah, I've got a few stories, but I had a funny one last year actually. Because obviously people know me and I go out a lot and I drink a lot and you know, I have a lot of fun and I have a lot of hangovers, but yeah, I'm trying to calm down now. But there's one last year, so I took my Bentley over tonight to Ibiza, and as you do. And I remember going to Sin Sundays on Sunday, and I drove my car. I've got a private parking space there next to my bar, which we now own, called Seabo, which is across the road from Ocean. Parked the car in my private space. And went and got wasted, like, you know. So I got a taxi home. On the Monday, I was so hanging that I didn't even go out. You know, it was a really big night for me. And on the Tuesday, it was Kiss Street, Ocean. Can't wait, fresh to the daisy now, because I've had loads of sleep and I'm all right, I'm ready to go. So I've gone to the bar, 2 o'clock, as I always do. I got someone with my PA picked me up, took me to the bar. And I always put my keys in the drawer. And if the management see me, there's 2 managers, one Claudio and one George. If they see me drunk, they take my keys out and they put them in their safe in the office, so I can't get out of my car, which is great.
Good, yeah.
But so I've gone into Ocean, and because I can't remember anything because I was so drunk, and I've gone out. I know my car's here because it can't be anywhere else. So I've gone in. I've gone into the restaurant, and looked in the drawer, seen my keys there, not there. But I wasn't bothered because I thought Claudio's obviously took them. So I said, can you get Claudio to bring my keys for me? Claudio comes over, I don't have your keys, Wayne. I went, no, you have got my keys. I went, all right, let me just check the car. Car's gone. Car's not there.
No.
I'm like,
Someone's chawed it.
so I'm an hour panicking now. Where the fuck's my car? So I've now got a WhatsApp group set up with all the security. They're talking to all the police, this, that, and the other. They've put
Ireland's on lockdown.
they've put special alerts on the borders for my car, so it can't get on the ship, so I can't get on the ferries. And then now this is about 3 hours later. I thought my car's gone. I'm fucking gutted. So the police are on the way to interview me about what's happened with the car. You know, so I'll explain. So, and then out of nowhere, Stefano, my restaurant manager, has come up to me and went, because a few weeks before I took the car to the car wash, I did the similar thing. I went, fuck, it's in the car wash. And he goes, wait, the Bentley, it's not in the car wash, is it? I went, oh my God, no. Yes, it is. I took it into the car wash. I'm running around Ocean like this, I've got my fucking car back. So I've run over to the car wash. I've gone, it's there, it's gleaming, ready to go. He's gone, where have you been? Where have you been? Your car's been here for 2 days. I'm like, don't worry about it, mate. It's 20 euros. Go on, Tom.
You've done a good job there.
Oh, I'm so happy, yeah. But yeah,
I was blind. The Ireland on lockdown. Well, thank you very much for your time, Wayne. It's always a pleasure, my friend, and I really appreciate the story. And we'll see you again the same time next week, people. Mind Clap Podcast. See you soon.
Cheers.